Attention. Put your phones away and everybody's eyes and attention up here. Thank you all for coming to school today. Not as if you had a choice, but I'd like to welcome the Attorney General and his staff, Mr. Douglas Moylan, and thank you very much for coming. Let's give them a big round of applause for their visit today. So I take it this isn't just going to be any regular presentation, so I really, really hope that you guys pay attention because I myself reached out to them and invited them here to talk about very specific things that I think a lot of you should be more aware about. So without further ado, Attorney General, please, thank you.
All right. Good morning, BTAX. That's a little quiet. One more. Good morning, BTAX. Okay, we have a lot of bulls in the room, about 175 of you guys. My name is Austin Fortuno, and I am the attaché to the Attorney General of Guam. We're very excited to be joining you guys here today to talk about some very important things, but gotta make sure everyone's warmed up. So I'm gonna ask everybody, is everyone good at following directions? Yes? No? Yes? Okay, let's test it out. I want you guys to raise your left hand up high. Left hand. Look at your friend. Is he raising his left hand? Is that your left? Hey. Left is like this. Look for the L. If it looks like an L, that's your left. Right. Up high. And raise your right hand up high too. Both up high. And give yourself a round of applause for waking up in the morning, showing up to school, right? Getting your education in. It's very important. So as I mentioned, we're here to talk about some very important topics. But of course, we do have some very important guests who are joining us here today to talk to you guys. But first, I wanted to ask, who are the ninth graders in the room? Raise your hand. All right, freshman class, let's go. You guys are the class of what? 2029. Gosh, I'm old. You got a question already? Where's the eagle at? You'll find out. You'll find out. Who are the sophomores in the room? Raise your hand. Okay, we have some sophomores. What age is sophomores? You guys are what, 14, 15, 16? 16, that's a very important number. Remember that for the presentation. Who are the juniors in the room? Raise your hand. Juniors. Ooh, getting ready to apply for colleges, getting ready to apply for jobs, very important. And who are, of course, lastly, our seniors? Raise your hand. Are almost adults. Okay, we got a good few hands in the room. You guys are you guys already 18 or almost 18? 18 already? That's a very important age as well for the Attorney General's office. You wish you were 18? Almost there, guys. Okay, so we do have some very special guests that are joining us here today, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce them. First off, we have our Deputy Attorney General for our Government Corruption Division. We have Alberto Gayoso. Let's give him a round of applause. All right. Anyone, who does he look like? Iron Man? Okay. All right. You'll hear from him later. Of course, we have a very important guest. The reason we're all here today, we have the Attorney General of Guam, Douglas B. Moylan. Let's give him a round of applause. And last but not least, as our good friend here asked about, we have a very special guest, Eric the Eagle. Let's give him a round of applause. Yeah, Eric. Okay. Well, all right, guys. You want to be the eagle? You'll get to have a chance to talk to Eric. Well, not talk, but interact with Eric. If you guys, very important, pay attention to the presentation because Eric here has some gifts for those who can answer the questions that I will ask after each topic. Okay? So very important you listen because I'm going to be asking questions and then Eric will give you a prize. You'll find out what the prize is after our first presentation. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce for his welcoming remarks, the Attorney General of Guam, Douglas B. Moylan. Let's give him a round of applause.
Am I live? So good morning, everybody. Half a day. And I'd also like to recognize my staff here that's here today. We have our staff in the Crime Victims Response Unit, which is to help those people that the criminals hurt. And we also have the General Crimes Division that has additional support for getting our prosecutors to do what they do to help us in this community. Now, I want to make sure that you understand that the Attorney General is an attorney, right, by definition. And throughout our little presentation here today, I want you to feel free to raise your hands if you guys have any particular questions, because this is intended for you, okay? It's difficult for me when I was your age to understand what is it that we do in our government. But the things you guys got to remember is the top police officer is who your parents have elected as the Attorney General. He is the chief, or she can be the chief legal officer of the government of Guam and the chief law enforcement officer of the government of Guam, which means that every criminal that hurts you or your parents or your family, your brothers and sisters, the Attorney General, working with all the other officers in our government, whether they're Guam Police Department officers, whether they're customs officers, you name it, anyone that has a badge, they have to answer to the Attorney General and work with us so that you guys are safe. That's the bottom line. Safety and a better quality of life for all of us. So I'd also like to congratulate Mr. Sablan and your entire staff that you have here, because you guys are the best of the best, right? You're in a charter school. You're focusing upon your futures. And what is it that's the most important thing that you're going to need to take away from you when you get that certificate at the end of your time here? It starts with an E. Education. You're not looking necessarily for the experience. You're looking for reading, writing, and arithmetic. Those are the three things that you have to focus on. And also, for those of you who are already wanting to go to college, that's what they're going to be looking for. The University of Guam is one of the best universities, and especially in this area of the world, for we Americans. Okay? So, having said that, does anyone know how long my term is? 4 years. I'm sorry. So, is there a term limit? Term limit? No, well, you said 4 years, but the term limit is by term, right? The governor, does she have a term limit? Yes, like the President of the United States, a term limit. That means 2 terms, right? Does the Attorney General have a term limit? No, does not have a term limit. So let's begin. We're going to be talking about 3 subjects. Your principal was especially interested in cyberbullying, school violence, and substance abuse, okay? So, begin. So, for cyberbullying, does anyone have an idea what cyberbullying is? Right next to you. The gentleman right next to you. That's one part of cyberbullying, yes. Does anyone know what can happen to you if your principal finds out or your friends turn you in that you were cyberbullying them? Yes. Those are 2 very good remarks. For your purposes, do you guys know where you go when you get arrested? Everybody knows DYA. So that is correct. In the law, and that's why we have lawyers, you would want to know what you could be arrested for, right? And you would want to know how long you might have to stay at DYA. But let me offer something before we talk about the particulars of what cyberbullying is. We need to understand that when you're talking about did you hurt somebody, that is the lowest part of your educational career. You guys should be bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. The best years of your lives are what you guys are experiencing now. Your friends that you're making, the high school experience, the sports, the camaraderies, all that is going to make you who you are in the future. And that's what made me who I was when I was going to school, okay? And in addition, you want to try to go to the University of Guam, some university, and then even if it's GCC, a trade school, because the education that you're going to be getting for all of you that are especially 18 or around that age, it will determine what money you bring in. The world is about money. And what is money? Money is resources. Your ability to survive, your ability not to have to beg people for money. Those panhandlers that you see on the road, they probably didn't go through their high school experience trying to get good grades and trying to hit these sports, hit the National Honor Society, do everything that you can to engage and become the best person that your parents expected of you. And that's another word, your parents, right? When I was growing up, the people around me, the worst thing they could do was to disappoint their parents. Okay? Each boy and girl, man and woman in this room has to understand that you're part of a community. And your community involves your family, your mom, your dad, your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, right? When you go to the fiesta, when you go to the rosary, when you go to the parties, they're always asking about you because they love you, right? These are the things I'm going to teach you today to keep you away from that part of embarrassing your family and to make you succeed. That's one of the words I want you to remember, how to succeed and to always strive to succeed. And then number 2 is respect. That word will guide you through every topic we talk about. Respect the person next to you, respect everyone around you that you don't even know, and most of all, especially to the girls, respect yourselves. Your reputation matters in this world. Your social media that you guys are talking about, we didn't have that, but we created it. The social media that you have today is so powerful because it affects your lives. What is the power of the internet? There's 2 things that the internet was developed in the 1990s and maybe the late 1980s. What were the 2 most important things that the internet brings us today? Okay, they just said it. Communication and information. Before, what did I have to do when we were doing a paper? You had to go to a library. Are there any more libraries on Guam? Agana? I think they closed. There used to be a library in all the 19 villages. Now I think that the last one might be Agana. Where's the other ones? They have one in Dededo? Well, that's good to hear that they still have those. But that was, you had to open the book and you had to read it and then you had to put everything together, and that was the knowledge, right? Now you guys, all you got to do is use your search engines, right? That's how you get the knowledge. But what we're worried about here is cyberbullying. Communication is dangerous if you misuse it, because in cyberbullying, the legislature has talked about communicating a threat to commit or to cause to be committed a crime of violence. Can we clean that up? Because I keep on hearing the feedback. Violence, dangerous to human life, and puts a person in reasonable fear, a crime will be committed. The bottom line is, if you guys use your cell phones in order to communicate with others, that you're going to hurt them, that you're going to commit a crime, like we're going to take a nude of somebody and circulate it, each one of those things will get you in trouble, will get you suspended or expelled from school, will get you put at DYA, will get you, your police report that they make will go to our prosecutors at the AG's office for the family court. And those of you that are 18, you got to be careful, because you're already adults, and you could go to the regular criminal court where your name will be in the newspaper or on one of our billboards. You know, that's the type of danger that you face. But if you respect one another, boys respecting girls, boys respecting each other, girls respecting each other, you won't do it, right? What's the purpose of saying something nasty about another person? You may feel an instant gratification. You may feel that, hey, I'm one of the team and, you know, macho, whatever you want to call it, but it will get you in trouble. And probably you guys got parents like that, The worst thing that you can get in trouble with is your dad or your mom. Because when you got to go answer to them, the consequences can be all over the board, right? You guys know what corporal punishment is? So you probably know what it is. So it's the idea that the parents can slap you around and stuff like that. But the idea is, and you're at an age, you want to be respectful of your parents, right? And part of being respectful of your parents is you don't embarrass them. Especially the 18-year-olds and those that are adults. When you get your face in the newspaper, you're not just your face, it's your family name, right? That's what you guys understand at this age, the peer pressure. The peer pressures that you get embarrassed or mamalau with other people around you, it will never end. It will go through your entire life to the moment that you're in the grave. When you have children, when you have grandchildren, when you have a girlfriend, a wife, nobody wants to be embarrassed. And that's why we have those billboards that are out there. Is it to hurt people? Are these billboards intended to hurt people? They're choices. So, are these intended to hurt people? Those were people that hurt already other people. The idea of the billboard is to create deterrence, okay? Deterrence is very important. So, this idea of cyberbullying, a crime, don't do it because you use that device to try to intimidate somebody else, your laptop, your iPad, your computer, your cell phone. Those are the things we're talking about here. Does anyone have any questions? Feel free to ask them because you're talking to a person that has been given the honor by your parents to be your legal advisor and also to throw you at DYA. My attorneys, my prosecutors, this is what they do. This is what we do there. We have two functions. One is to educate, and the other one is to law enforce and to make sure that the victim that you guys cyberbullying on gets justice. And did you guys see the recent, the Department of Education, what they're doing to the vapors at DOE? That's right. For years, the Department of Education wasn't calling the police on kids that were in the bathroom and vaping, smoking weed, smoking cigarettes. Now, there's a strong force by this new superintendent to make sure that kids go to school to learn, not to commit crimes and not to do things that you're not supposed to. Okay? Yeah. Let's go for the questions.
All right, we're going to go for the question. You guys have any questions for the Attorney General on the topic of cyberbullying? If not, you guys know it's all clear. It's pretty visible, right? So it's better to... Oh, you got a question? Is WUism coming to Guam? ICE, as in Immigration and Customs
That's our third
Enforcement,
topic.
ICE. We'll talk about that. Yes, that's on the third topic. You'll learn about it. Let's go to stay on topic with cyberbullying first. So if you guys don't have questions, I have questions, okay? And then Eric has prizes if you get the question right. So this is how it's gonna work. I'm gonna ask the question. You're gonna raise your hand up high. Which hand? Left, right? Right. You're gonna raise your right hand up high. And then I'm gonna go to you, have you tell us your name, and then give us your answer, okay? We'll start off easy. Very important. I think you guys are gonna get this one. We'll start on this side of the room, okay? You're saying no. I'm gonna go to that side, don't worry. Okay, first question. Can you be arrested for cyberbullying as a crime for the crime of terrorizing? Yes or no? Okay, I'm gonna go over here. Okay, all right. Why don't you tell us your name and then give us your answer?
What is it? Oh,
Your name and then your answer.
oh. My name is Jaden, and my answer is yes.
Yes. Is she correct? Can you be arrested for terrorizing? Yes, she's correct. Let's give her a round of applause. Okay, Eric's gonna give you a little prize. Get a little, Eric, why don't you show them what the prize is? You get a little Eric the Eagle plushie. Oh, okay. So who in this side of the room wants an Eric the Eagle plushie? Raise your hand. Not everyone? Really? That's a pretty rare commodity now, you know. Okay, I'm gonna ask another question. Okay, all right, we'll go over here. Are there any cyber bullies in the room? Oh no. Whack, we got one. I'm just kidding. 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 Okay, all right. I got one more question. Okay. Okay, if you witness cyberbullying, I want who in this room would you talk to and report it to? Okay, she got over here. I want you to stand up. Yeah, you're gonna have to stand up. You want a prize, okay? I have a question. If you witness cyberbullying, who in this room would you report it to? And I want you to point at them, okay? Okay. All right.
So I say my name.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, my name is Jayan. I'm reported to our principal,
Your principal, who's your principal?
Sino Sablon.
Senor Sablan, is she correct? Can you report it to Senor Sablan? Yeah, she's correct. Let's give her a round of applause. She's so happy. Okay, we have more questions on the way, but again, very important that you're listening so you can answer the questions, all right? So we're going to go on to our next topic. We're going to talk about school violence and minors being charged as adults. Okay, we're going to hand it back to the Attorney General.
Okay, so thresholds, that's what you guys are all about right now, right? You got your ninth graders, your sophomores, your juniors, and your seniors, right? So I noticed that when Mr. Fortuno asked that if anyone's 18 years old, who's 18 years old here? Right, there's a group. Actually, there's several of you guys. Boys and girls, and now you're ladies and gentlemen. So 18 years old is the threshold in our society that we start treating you as adults, and then also giving you the consequences of what happens as an adult. And one of the things are that you do not go to DYA when you commit a crime. You go to the Department of Corrections with a lot of bad people that are paying for their sins, okay? For their acts, for their crimes. Now, 18 is the no-brainer. The police come over, the teachers turn you in because you sent that text message that I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to blow the bomb up at the school, something like that. There's going to be no question. You're not going to be going into a nice family court setting where it's all private and only your parents come. You're going to be taken into the Department of Corrections, and you will make the front page of the newspaper for things that you did, okay? Now, that's not to say that you can't still go to the adult prison. Does anybody know what age you begin to get in that danger zone of getting into the adult prison? 16. So how many of you guys are 16? Okay, so you got about the same number of the 16 to 18s as you have 18-year-olds here. Now, there is the threshold of what can get you automatically charged as an adult. So you have an actual criminal prosecutor taking you before potentially a grand jury, and then having you placed at Department of Corrections, and then having to go through a jury trial, having your parents and the relatives and everybody that's an adult sitting in that jury box you guys see on TV. That sort of thing, when you see the lawyers and they're making the argument, they have a defense attorney trying to get their client off. That is what you 16-year-olds are subject to now, okay? And does anybody know what a misdemeanor and a felony is? Misdemeanor. That's the first thing. It's a mistake that the legislature says is a crime. The threshold is a misdemeanor is where you can be put in jail for up to a year. Okay? That's what they define a misdemeanor. Like when you drive and you're drunk on the road, most of that is misdemeanors. Okay? So if you get convicted, the judge could say that you're going to go to jail for 1 year. What is a felony? Felony, yes. Murder is one of the felonies. They are defined, a felony is anything that is over a year or more, okay? So that's the threshold. The difference is that the judge can put you in jail for more than a year, okay? And who sets that is the legislature. Our senators, they're the ones that decide what laws get passed that makes it a misdemeanor or a felony. Okay, now having said that, 16 years old and above, 16 to 18, if what you do, like murder, is considered a second degree or a first degree felony, you automatically get treated like an adult. Murder, obviously, is a first degree felony. You could spend your entire life in jail if you guys killed somebody, okay? And it can even be as foolish as you guys drink alcohol, get into that car, and then go and kill somebody, kill a baby that's in the car, something like that. You will be tried as an adult, and you could potentially go to jail for the rest of your life, depending upon the facts of the case, okay? So, second and first degree felonies, if you're 16 years old, you can be charged as an adult, okay? Now, does anybody know what you can be charged as an adult? And it doesn't matter. Everybody in this room can be charged as an adult for it. Homicide and murder. So that means that, just say you're 14 years old, right? Yes. You're subject to it, right? It depends upon the jury finding you guilty, and then the judge deciding what's the punishment. Come back to me on that. So they call it homicide, okay? So 14 years old and above, that if you kill somebody, the legislature has said that you probably should be treated like an adult, and you will be treated like an adult and charged and put into regular court. That means that at your ages that you guys are at now, you literally can be sitting in the courtroom while everybody's taking pictures of you. You could be put on a billboard because you committed the crime and you were convicted. Yes? I believe, I want to say no, but I'm not encouraging you. So right now, I believe it's 14 and above. That would be the threshold. But that doesn't mean you're out of trouble, guys. That means that you're going to go to family court, and family court, which is still a judge, and the punishment is still there for DYA. And the idea of family court is try to help you become well-adjusted adults. Yes? That's a very good question. Yes, they're supposed to, but what they're doing is, I believe they keep them in DYA prison, and then once they hit 18, they get transferred to Department of Corrections. So even if you do get convicted as an adult and you're still below 18, I think they keep you at DYA, and then they'll put you at DOC, if that was the sentence by the judge. Okay? These are very important thresholds that you guys are dealing with now. But again, if you're in this universe that we're talking about, am I going to get charged as an adult? Am I going to get charged as a minor? Am I going to get taken to DYA or DOC? You're down here in your what you're asking, the questions. You do not want to be down here. Your futures are bright, and they're ahead of you. You guys want to be talking up here. You guys want to be nuclear physicists. You guys want to be attorneys. You guys want to be doctors. Guam graduates in the United States some of the best people in the world. Let me throw out a question here. Does anybody watch President Trump when he's talking? Of course we do, right? Did you guys see the parade that he did recently in Washington, D.C., where they had all the tanks and armaments in front, and like our Liberation Day? Did you notice who was sitting behind him? Bald-headed guy? He wishes. No, did you notice? It was in the video, and you guys can pull it up if you want. Yeah, there was a Secret Service bodyguard right next to the person that I'm talking about. His name was Walt Nauta. Chamorro. One of us. Guamanian. The President of the United States, the most powerful man in the world, had as his attaché Walt Nauta from Agate. And he was there on his first one. When the president gets off of Air Force One, if you watch it, there's this bald-headed guy that's carrying a briefcase. He's from Guam. That is your future, what you're capable of, to be with the highest powered people in the world. My attaché, Austin, he was in Washington, D.C. Right after he graduated from University of Guam, he was part of a program where they bring in interns throughout the United States and start training them as aides to our congressmen in the United States. That is what you guys, and especially in this charter school, you need to aim for, okay? You need to aim for the highest that you can be, your greatest potentials. You don't think that Walt Nauta's family on Guam is very proud of that and that speaks like I do? Hey, did you see our son? Did you see the Guam guy? And I was in Indiana. We get security clearances in the United States because we're so detached from the world that when they do your background checks, you make for perfect people that work in the federal government because we're not exposed to Al-Qaeda, all these terrorists in the world. When you grow up in this environment that you're growing up, you're perfect for working for the federal government on your security clearances, okay? But don't get on your record, because they will check your juvenile records, stuff like cyberbullying, posting stuff on the internet that you think that you can get away with, but in your job when you apply for the State Department, they pull up your post. So what do they say about the internet? What gets posted on the internet stays on the internet. I don't know how they do it, but there's people that can find that stuff. Carbon footprint. That's what we're talking about here, okay? Your future, your success, you're making money, you're making your families proud, you're making your name a name that's heard throughout the world. Those are the things that you guys have all in front of you, your bright futures, okay? So, anyone have any questions about what I just talked about on the crimes that you could be charged with at different ages? Okay.
All right, no questions for the AG. I have questions for you guys. Okay, I heard some yays, I heard some ugh. Okay, all right. You have a questions for the AG? Sir, we have a question.
Zion, I just have one question. What is the highest conviction crime for teenagers 18 and under?
Okay, that's the 16 years old. The highest charged with was what I was talking about, the first-degree felony or the second-degree felony. If you're 16 to 18 and you do that, you rape a girl, they call it criminal sexual conduct. When she says, and by the way, you guys shouldn't even be talking about this stuff, but I mean this idea that you got a boyfriend, girlfriend, and that you go, remember, the girls, you can't, there's no consent under 16 years of age, but let's not even go there at this point. First degree, second degree, those are the ones that are the most serious. First degree is the most serious. First degree will get you life in prison. And I always ask my prosecutors, I always think, because they got thresholds of 20 years and stuff like that, when they say life in prison at the legislature, when they pass that law, first degree felony, it means life in prison. And when they say without possibility of parole, they mean it. You can't get out. Some of the things that are considered first degree felonies are murder and rape. Okay? We call it criminal sexual conduct on Guam, but I think you guys understand what rape is, right? Non-consensual sex. You can even touch a girl in the wrong places, the private places, and you're in trouble. You get put into that criminal sexual conduct type of category, and the consequences are severe. Okay, you touch a girl's butt, guys, you're going to be in the principal's office and at GPD. You touch any private part. And that goes for boys on boys and whatever the hell's going on out there. Okay? Even the girl.
All right. Okay, any more questions? Any more questions for the AG? All right. Okay, now it's my turn to ask questions. Okay, let's see if everyone was paying attention. Let's go to the back of the room. Okay, I'm going to ask a question from this side of the room. We're going to keep it simple. This is a true or false question. You can be sentenced for 4 months for committing a felony. True or false? Ooh. You know. Okay, tell us your name and give us your answer. You can be sentenced to 4 months for committing a felony.
Wait, say it again.
The question? You can be sentenced to 4 months for committing a felony. Is that true or false?
It's false.
It's false. Is she correct? Yes or no? Yes! All right. Why is it false? Because a felony is for how many years? More than a year, right? More than a year? Okay. All right, I got one more question. All right, we're all in school, right? We're all with our friends, but things happen. So I'm going to ask a question. Can you be arrested for school violence as a crime? Yes or no? You guys are, okay. All right, give us your name and give us your answer.
Yes.
No, give us your name first.
Oh, Zachary Mofnis.
Sanjay Mafna says what? Yes?
Yes.
Is he correct? Can you be arrested for school violence? Sir, is it yes or no? Can you be arrested for school violence? Yes, you can be arrested for school violence. All right, guys. Let's keep that in our heads before we start thinking about asking our friend Malagu Mumu. Okay? We're not going to fight. We're going to be friends. We're going to talk to each other and all that. Okay. And so we finished our second topic. We're going to jump into our last topic. And one good friend of ours over there asked a very nice question. Is ICE coming to Guam? So the AG will talk about that. And then somebody asked, what is ICE? We're going to talk about substance abuse. Very important topic that our office is leading the charge in fighting. And so I'm going to go ahead and hand it back to our Attorney General, Douglas Moylan.
Okay, so it's good that you guys are asking the right questions. ICE, okay? So there's a lot of dimension to, okay, you guys got to listen because you got to understand, right? The first part of education is listening and absorbing what people are trying to teach you. And this is for your own good. So ICE is Guam's greatest problem right now, okay? It's methamphetamine. This stuff, the white stuff that you see, the crystals, the powder, the substance of ice. Is ice naturally occurring like marijuana? There's a difference. What is the difference? Marijuana is natural. That means that this stuff, some bright chemist is putting this stuff together and trying to sell it, right? Yes. So, can we bring that billboard up here, Austin? So, ice is Guam's greatest problem. It's methamphetamine. That's the chemical name for that drug. And what it does, what are the consequences of taking ice? Okay, let's put up your hand. What's your name? Renal? Renapu? Renapu said it. What was your answer? One of the consequences of it, your teeth, it isn't bad teeth, it's no teeth. Dofi, right? You guys know what dofi means? Usually it's in a joke, right? And it's usually saying that you're dofi and you look stupid because you got no teeth. Girls, I definitely don't think you want to be like that. Because not only do you have the consequences of taking ice to deal with, that will do that to you, but you have life that as you get older, some people don't have the ability to keep their teeth all their life, and that's why they have dentures and stuff. But this that we're talking about here, it's your body's way of telling you that you're killing yourself. It's one of the first things that you need to understand, that when you start taking this little crystal and you think, I don't even believe that I could not be an ice addict if I was to take this. That's how powerful that drug is. All the tough guys in here that think that, oh, and get away with it and I'll be okay. The studies show that once you get that in your system, your brain starts to change immediately. It was designed by pharmacists and people that knew what they were doing when they put those chemicals in there. What is another word for an ice addict? Crackhead. I like to call them, well, crackhead is one of the names. Another name, you guys want to listen? Meth head? Lab rat. It's a lab rat. Because when you take it, you're going to do exactly what a lab rat does. It's a pattern of deterioration that was designed in order to create an addiction so that the dealers that make it can get rich, okay? So what happens when you start taking the ice? And guys, ladies and gentlemen here, I'm not even talking about what the jury and the judges are going to do to you and the attorney general is going to do to you with the police. I'm talking about this is the most important thing in your life. It's life. Ice will take your life from you. You guys are all handsome and beautiful today. You're going to be maturing. You're going to be having good families, enjoying what love means, marriage and everything. This is going to take it all from you. Okay? And I'm not joking. We hired the pathologist, Dr. Nine. He was telling us that 1 in 18 people on the slab was dying of ice. That is a tremendous amount of people. And 2 ways of dying. You take it slowly as an addiction. You slowly start your organs in you. You guys know what organs are. They slowly start shutting down and rejecting it. The second thing is overdose. You think those guys know what they're doing when they're making this ice? They're probably doing it in their backyard. You know fentanyl? You guys hear about fentanyl, right? That just a few crystals of fentanyl can kill you within 15 minutes. They're mixing it with this. You think those guys know how much to mix it with in order to keep the person, give them the high, and that's it? Okay, so meth kills, and meth is illegal. If you distribute it, you become a meth dealer, and you can get life in prison. Okay? So anyone in this school, and I highly recommend you turn them in for distributing that, you can get life in prison. Okay? First-degree felony. That means that what? What age can you be taken in? 16 years old. First-degree felony. For distributor. For user, it's a third-degree felony, so you may not be charged as an adult immediately, but we could ask the judge to charge you as an adult. The attorneys, especially if you're 16, they can petition the judge and say that, Your Honor, this kid was found taking ice. He's a bad kid. He's always getting thrown out of school, suspended. That life that I'm talking about, you don't want to be using it or distributing it because our Guam legislature, our senators have said that it's totally illegal. Okay? And I'm even talking about the other drugs, cocaine, whatever else is out there. Marijuana, they're trying to make legal, but it's still a drug. You know, why do you need to take it? And by the way, again, at your ages, you're going to get, what is it? Taken a DYA and suspended or kicked out of school. Okay? The worst things that you can have. A lot of these people on this photo here are drug-related over there. That sort of thing, huh? Do we have other things? Okay. I'm going to have our prosecutor, our deputy for the Government Corruption Division, and a prosecutor in my office, Alberto Gayoso. Attorney General.
Oh, I'm an outsider. I come from Florida, and back there, I act sometimes. So sometimes I'm in movies or commercials or any number of things. So I relate to the world a lot of times through cinema. And I'd like to start by referencing one of my absolute favorite movies, which is Shawshank Redemption. And it's based on a story, and I don't know whether you've seen it because you're rather young, but if you haven't seen it, see it. It's a good movie about the consequences of bad actions and how you can redeem yourself over the course of a lifetime, right? And you're right there. You're at the crossroads. The future is ahead of you. But there's this one character played by Morgan Freeman. We all know Morgan Freeman, right? He's the guy with the low voice, right? They use him for everything that needs a low voice. Anyway, he's been convicted. He was convicted when he was like 16 for robbing someone. And I think someone died and that kind of thing. So he got sent to prison. And after about 30 years, he goes before the parole board, right? And you know, he says, yeah, I'm reformed. And they keep denying his parole. So he remains there another 10 years, 40, 50 years, or whatever. But that character says something that I think is very, very relevant to you guys. And it's relevant to me now that I'm in my 60s, right? It's that I really wish, when you get older, you're going to want to wish that you could talk to your 16-year-old self, right? Because during life, you'll be confronted with a lot of challenges. And those challenges will have consequences, good or bad, right? And it would be really nice if you could go back in time and you could talk to that 16-year-old and you could say, stop being such a dumbass. You know, come on. You know better than that. You don't have to cyberbully anymore. You know, there are other ways of dealing with conflict. And conflict is a certainty. It's as certain as taxes and death. You're going to be in conflict your entire life. You're going to be in conflict. You know, who's the person you're going to be in conflict with the most? Can anyone tell me? Yourself. That's right. And that person you can't fool, right? Because they know everything about you, and they know every weakness, and they're going to try to exploit that, right? But you've got education, so you're ahead of the game. You've got good, wise leaders like the Attorney General, like the legislature, like government, like teachers. Teachers, those guys, let's give it up for them, okay? Because unfortunately, a lot of times we don't come from perfect families, all right? Let's just face it. And sometimes friends become family, right? And you'll look back on your life and you'll say, oh, I remember that one teacher. God damn, that teacher was wonderful. And that'll be a turning point in your life, right? So he says, I wish I could talk to that 16-year-old. And he says, I wish I could tell him, you know, just wise up, kid, that kind of thing. And that's when he gets his parole granted. And he's freed. And then, well, I'm not going to spoil the ending for you, but it goes on and on. I was also excited because I was coming to a school that involved technology, right? You guys are on the cusp of a technology revolution that the world has never seen, okay? There's a lot of futurists like Alvin Toffler and others who wrote Future Shock and, oh, no, I think they can hear me. Can you guys hear me? You know, Future Shock and I forget the name of the other title, but he predicted a lot of things that were coming in the future, predicted computers, that kind of thing. But you know what's really remarkable? Since the 1900s, right, when we used to have buggies and horses and that kind of thing, and then we went to cars, there's been an exponential, I mean, it's breakneck speed, whiplash, in terms of how technology has really changed our lives. In my own lifetime, I thought that I had seen magic when the fax machine showed up, right? And you're probably saying, what the hell's a fax machine, right? A fax machine was this little device that could send a document from the other side of the world and it would just print out. How the hell did that happen? But you guys are seeing other things. You're going to see teleportation. You're going to see Flying cars, although I don't get that one because we already have airplanes, right? What's the difference? Don't quite get that one. But anyway, you're going to see things. You're going to see exploration in space. You're going to see a lot of things, right? That kind of thing. So one of the things that I wanted to impart on you is that technology has the ability to improve humankind, but it also will make the world smaller. And you're already seeing that. You probably can talk to people on the other side of the world. The world is becoming smaller, much smaller, right? And how does that intersect with the law? Different jurisdictions have different laws, right? And why is that? Because laws are a reflection of the society and the compact that people enter with their government as to what is permissible behavior and what is not. And certain behavior, let's say in Saudi Arabia, may be a little too conservative for our sake, but it still has to be respected. With technology, you have the ability to break a law, let's say on the other side of the world. You could be charged, right? Technically, if they can catch you, right? So you're going to be confronted with these challenges. And, I'm being told to wrap up, but what I really wanted to tell you, one of the things is that the sky's not the limit. You're going to see amazing things. The future is in your hands. And what are we really fighting for? Well, the Declaration of Independence probably said it best. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's my wish for all of you. I hope that you maximize your potential in whatever you do. Whether it's through education, whether it's, inventing something, whether it's just being a good parent, right? Or a good friend, right? And I'll close with another Shawshank Redemption quote, and this is by the protagonist in that movie, who turns, he's, crestfallen, and he turns over to Morgan, and he says, you got to get busy living or get busy dying, right? And that's right, you clap, but wait, I'm not done there.